Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful, marvelous people have agreed to come and play a game with me tonight, and that makes me very happy. Tonight is one of those bittersweet happy moments, though, because it's the end of a season. There's advantages and disadvantages to do these short run things. They're great fun because they're intense and they're sort of bang, 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 bang. But you got to do all these final episodes and walk away from all these great characters, and that's not always. I mean, we're gonna do it right, but it's not always easy. So with that, let's introduce these people and then get on with this. Let's start with Sarah. Tell us about all the things you're not allowed to tell us about.
There's only one that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Ah,
The rest of it, of course, I'm still working on Bravely Broken. I run Deviant Futures on Thursdays. And of course, I have my channel, Tangor Productions, over on YouTube.
on the tube, yes. The social media, which is not apparently imploding despite all apparent appearances to the contrary. Anyway, just moving on. That was a timely joke that will also probably not be timely by the time this goes out on
Yeah,
YouTube.
this will age like milk.
Yeah, like milk in the sun. Yep. Next, Hellhounds 20. Where else can we find you? What else are you doing?
Sorry, I was just finishing some Skittles.
Oh,
You can find me here and really anywhere else as Hellhounds20. I am a PNG tuber, gamer, an artist, and a dungeon master.
yes. Amongst many other things. But thank you for joining us tonight. And bring red. Here we go, pretty shortly. For the final time, Mr. Box reading his. I mean, some people write their own intros quite literally. For the final time, Mr. Box brought to us by Eisen Bunderscore. Eisen Bunderscore Stonefist. There you go. That's what you get this week. Tell us your real name and where we can find you.
All right, my real name is Bison. Well, it's not my real name, but we'll pretend.
Yeah.
You can generally find me here. On Wednesdays, I normally play Linus Longshadow, halfling fighter on the Deeper Delve. I won't be there this week because I will be elsewheres. On Saturdays, I play Feedback on the Harlequin Redux, which is getting close to done-ish.
Yep, couple 3 weeks. Yep.
And on my own channel, I play video games. This Tuesday it will be Vermintide 2, and then next Tuesday it'll probably be Darktide because I like Ogres.
And the idea of the tide coming in once a week is kind of never mind. We'll just leave that where it is. All right.
Womp womp.
Womp womp womp. Yes, and finally, because they came from the internets, the deepest zones of the Twitterverse, and yet another person who was brave enough to answer the crazy man when he said, "Do you want to come and play a weird game with me?" So, Alex, thank you for saying yes all those times. And whereabouts can we find you?
Hello. Yes, I just put my links in the chat. You can find me on Twitter and in my own Discord. I make my own RPGs, most recently Cyber Rats.
Booyah.
And then in my Discord, I also teach indie one-shots, and I am just about to begin playtesting for the first supplement for Cyber Rats, Rise of the Briny Bastards. So find a link to my Discord.
I think there might be a fan on board here, just possibly. You might see that looking in your window later tonight.
So if you want to come playtest, come and join the Discord. Playtesting will be starting very soon for Cyber Rats.
Oh, that's amazing.
Get ratified.
Yeah.
Get ratified.
Get ratified. Oh. Now I need a blue check mark shaped like a rat. Yeah. Never mind. Get ratified. All right. Let's get startified. Two of the arts were done using Hero Forge. 2 of the arts were done using Artists. That's all that needs to be said about that. Let's start. This time, there's no gray mist at all. This time you just wake up. Will. You just wake up. But you're cold. even under all these blankets. When you move, stuff hurts. You're you again. Whoever you were before that die rolled and before this started. But you're old. Just getting out of bed is going to be a challenge. There's a button hanging there on the wall. You are who you are. You look over at the table beside you and around the room that you're in. You're in a retirement home, and it's a fairly nice one. And all your stuff. You know how that you end up with a whole life's full of stuff crammed in one room. A lot of it doesn't make any sense because you weren't there. If that makes any sense, because your last memory was the night you went to sleep and now you're way over here. This all happened because there's stuff. There's pictures. There's, handprints and clay, all stuff everywhere. But there's also the things that you picked up along the way on this trip. And one of the orderlies, not even an orderly, an intern, walks in. It's early. I mean, the sun isn't up yet. Even for old people, it's early. And they kind of look at you in the darkness and check to see if you're asleep. You move or say anything?
I'm gonna act like I'm asleep.
Okay. They start looking around. And they stop at the table and look down at one of the things that you gathered. What is it?
Probably be the teddy bear, the first one I picked up.
So tell us about this teddy bear.
So this is a teddy bear that Willow would have gotten from her mom before her mom passed. Because she only grew up with her dad. And her dad didn't want her to be a girly girl, so he hid it somewhere. And she didn't see it for a really long time until that weird dream thing when she got it back.
And they're just staring. They reach for it like they're going to pick it up, and then they stop. Their hand comes back, and there's... The look goes from what is that to something almost like reverence. And they look around some more. And it's unerring. What's the next thing they see from this trip?
Willow actually didn't take anything else.
Were you injured?
Yeah, I think so, more than once.
Okay. So they come over to your bed. And what were you called in this world? What would they know you as?
Willow.
Willow?
Willow Stonebridger.
Miss Stonebridger, wake up.
What is it?
And you move a little bit and they go, oh my goodness, those didn't heal very well, did they? They look awful. What happened to you?
I'm trying to remember the second one.
Tell any part of it, any part of that night, any part of that experience.
Because I know she'd have scars from the world with Napoleon when they were on the line.
Yeah.
And she probably got scratched by the weird time things.
The goblins, yeah.
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 And probably looking at that, probably looking at her hands that got bloodied up when she was trying to open up for the doll thing. But yeah, she probably has like a bunch of different types of scars and stuff just from what they were doing the entire time.
And this this intern watches. This might even be, you can tell this is probably their first night. Like they're here because they're so empathic. This is what they need to do. And they're just watching you as your eyes scan over your scars. And when they stop at that last, you pick. Which scar are you looking at when they stop you?
Oh god, my brain just blinked on last session. Because I know
Last
she
one
got
was
hurt
the
in the last
retirement home. So that was kind of comical. There might not be a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she
I'm
would.
sure you got.
It
Oh
would
no, you
be-
got. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually think she would probably have the cuff left of that stupid suit she still wore,
Yep.
and it's still probably on her wrist.
Yep. That's got to be a story. Tell me.
It
They
feels
put your
more.
tea down.
It feels more like a dream than a memory. I was helping my friends with a very odd case, and I ended up having to go undercover to protect them. I had to wear a velour pink suit or tracksuit. I'm surprised that the cuff is even left now.
There's a long pause. Almost, and they're just staring. They're not staring at you. They're staring down at the bed. Like you can see they're just grinding information. And then they say, if you didn't want to tell me, you could just say so.
Give me a second. Something I. No, just stop.
You got your own peanut gallery.
I'm gonna chuck it out the studio. And she'll kind of look up and honestly, the real story, I don't think you'd believe me.
They look around the room, and the other three people in the room are I mean, this is a nice place. So the other one person in the room is still way asleep. And they look at you and say, nobody's going to hear it but me.
I was in one of those terrible retirement homes where vampiric? No. You know that mind fungus that like takes people's heads, ants' brains over?
Yeah.
It was that, but it was clothing. I sacrificed myself to save my friends. And they ended up saving me in return.
What was that like?
Imagine having the worst case in the world. That was that.
The worst case of what? I don't understand.
Sorry, cop speak. It was like having to be undercover as an old person, but also not being old. Oh no!
You, there's another pause. And you hear, finally, so you gave yourself up for that?
Yeah. For them.
Huh. And what would have happened if they hadn't saved you? And
I
they're
don't know,
just
actually.
staring, like they're not even, it's like they're not even thinking of you. They're just staring at this cuff on your wrist.
I don't actually know. Glad I didn't find out.
How about that one? And they point to another scar.
Well, that we ended up somehow in a comic book that we could control and ended up helping Napoleon get a doll that tried to help him take over the world.
That's a lot. Can I start at the end? Napoleon
Yeah.
didn't take over the world. Does that mean you failed?
No, we actually succeeded.
Well, I'm going to need to hear this story, and we're going to need more tea.
Agreed.
And whiff, they're back in just in the moment. Before you can even finish the cup that's there, they're back with another one. They've utterly forgotten they're at work. They've pulled up a chair like they're visiting you. They've forgotten to turn the lights on. They're not making their rounds. You're just sitting in this dark little room as the whole building slowly comes to life around you. Because it's still dark, that other person in here isn't even, they're still snoring. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about this one?
We were video game characters with a guy who thought he was in love with a woman's ear.
I never heard of that game. Did it not come out, or?
I don't know. I don't believe it probably would.
Oh. What's it like being in a place like that, doing things like that? Put your hand over it till we're done. Put your hand over
Yeah,
chat till we're done.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm literally banned on Thursdays from having chat, so chat has to go away again because you're gonna make me laugh, guys.
Yes. You can laugh during everybody else's bit. Your bit you gotta take seriously.
Yep.
And they, one after another, walk you through every mark. And they have you rebuild the whole story. How does it end? What's the last thing you tell this audience as the sun comes up behind them through the window?
I wish I had known that the last adventure would have been the last. I would have told my friends to come see me.
The sun starts to speed up behind them, climbing the sky. And you realize that although you can hear the entire rest of this building is flying, it's breakfast time. They're going up and down the halls. They're serving. They're calling out to the ones that have wandered off, and all the stuff that you would expect. None of it affects your little room. That person over there is still sleeping. The sun is up to, it must be 9, 10 o'clock by now. But it's still dark in this room. Then that intern finally reaches into one of those, there's like the single pocket on Scrubs. They reach into that and pull out a little D12. What color is it?
Seafoam green.
I'm not going to be able to do this for all of you. It's seafoam green D12. Rolls it on the table. What does it roll?
6.
Why?
Because it's dead center. It's the middle.
And as you look down and realize that you balanced, Your scales balanced. Justice was served. When you look back up to tell them, they're gone.
Now I'm sus.
The lights come on, the room starts to come alive, but that die is still sitting on the table in front of you with the 6 showing. Red. You wake up
Boy.
cold, stiff. It's not your bed. Old. But you're red again. Something about today is special. Something's different. Don't quite remember what it is. You've had quite a night, apparently, half a life ago, and it's cold, and there's the window's white. The window's white, that's important. Snow. You hear the wind. It's winter. It's Christmas. There's a whole family waiting outside in the living room, in the kitchen, and the dining room, waiting to do Christmas, just like they do every year. Just like they've done every year except for the last 40 that you don't remember. What do you do?
Red being who they are, they're gonna roll out of bed, and the bed sheets are their fleece. So like they're very fluffy.
Yep.
But they're very colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they're going to slip their feet into fluffy slippers with like the face of a cat on each of them. They're mangled, they're torn apart, they're old.
Yep.
But they're still comfortable, still got the memory foam. They'll shuffle over towards the door, and they're wearing a tie-dye t-shirt and flannel pajama pants.
Yep.
And they reach next to the door. Like, if the door were to open, you would never see it. They reach next to the door and they grab a bag in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
Open the door, peek out, look around, seeing if anybody's nearby, and then sneakily shuffle walk it into the kitchen.
Okay. As you get to the kitchen, it is suspiciously empty. It's almost like somebody knows what you're up to and has sort of is helping. Let's just put it that way.
Good.
What do you do once you're there?
Checking to make sure that coffee is going for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling out cookie dough that I froze overnight. Reaching the bag, pulling out a large tin of hot cocoa mix,
Mm-hmm.
and setting in the middle with like a large bag of marshmallows.
Mm-hmm.
And then shuffle dragging the rest of the bag over to the living room as quickly as I can.
Okay. Behind you, you hear just a little person laughing voice.
I'm gonna pretend that I don't hear it.
Okay.
And put a very weird shaped package underneath the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then shuffle behind the tree so it's like in the corner. I'm gonna put a really long package in the back there with the face, like the name facing it. And this is all wrapped in anything but what's available under the tree. So it's a completely different wrapping paper, each of this.
Yep. I had an aunt that used to use newspaper just so you knew who it was from.
Yeah.
I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact they were cheap. Sorry, go ahead.
And the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a little bag that has no label on it. I'm going to quickly tiptoe outside and drop the little chocolate pellets in the snow
Okay.
and take out a tiny little bottle of lemonade and sprinkle it on the snow as well to look like the reindeer were there
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
before
Yeah.
going back inside and throwing away the bag and the bottle. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they don't need to know about that.
Yeah.
And just wait patiently.
Okay. As you come back inside and sort of quietly knock the snow off your slippers, you hear that little giggle again, and if you look up this time?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And down at the end of the hall, one of the kids, I don't know, you can tell me whose it is. Maybe you can't tell me whose it is. There's a lot of them running around. There's more every year. And you haven't been here for the last 40, so in fact, you would have no idea whose kid this is now that I think about it. But one of them is looking down the hall at you with an empty mug. They've followed you into the kitchen because they thought they were getting hot chocolate. And now they're looking down the hall at you coming back inside, and they're just grinning. And they say, "Thanks. My sister still thinks it's all real." This little dude's all of like 3 3/4. He's feeling very sure of himself because he has just found out that
Almost
Santa's
4.
not real. Yeah.
Red's by the way, Red is wearing like these half moon glasses.
Oh, perfect. Yep. Yep.
But they look at him and raise an eyebrow. Not real? Then explain that. And they're gonna gesture to the plate of cookies where there's some bites taken out of the cookies. And like some of the milk is gone.
Does Red have a beard?
No.
No? Okay.
Red
You have a robe,
in
though,
real
a fuzzy robe.
Red in reality
Hmm.
doesn't have any hair on their head except for their eyebrows.
Okay.
And the reason they're called red is because they have a old faded tattoo, like a tattoo sleeve on one of their arms is like a red color.
Okay. Did you have that before the events of the evening?
Yes.
Yes, you would have had to because yeah. Okay. So, all right. So that's why you're called Red. Okay. So they step forward and start looking at the front of your robe and at the top of your slippers. They have all but openly suggesting that it was you that ate the cookies. They're looking for evidence.
There's nothing there.
That was, of course, yeah, it wouldn't have been. They
Cookie
look
cutter.
up at you and say, all the moms say you're weird.
We're all weird in our own way.
Yeah, but they mean like weird, like weird, like I'm just thinking like Calvin trying to explain weird to you, right? Just-
Well, Red is going to gently take the mug. How about we get some hot cocoa first?
and they big grinning as you turn to walk away with the mug. They're right behind you, and you hear something you probably shouldn't have. You hear about time, and they start following you back into the kitchen.
Again, they're going to pretend they didn't hear it.
Yeah, kitchen's empty. The moms have cleared the zone.
They're going to boil some milk because those who use water are heathens.
Especially on Christmas, yes.
Unless they're lactose intolerant, then you get a pass. But otherwise, no, that's heresy. No. But
So
Red is-
yeah.
yeah, Red is boiling the milk, but they're taking their mug. They're kind of making a bit of a show out of it, using like chocolate syrup to make a display on the inside before mixing in the hot cocoa and the milk and presenting them with the marshmallows.
And they start taking marshmallows one at a time and putting them in like standing up
Mhm.
So they're going to get the absolute maximum number of marshmallows in the top of this cup that they possibly can, because they're never allowed to pick how many marshmallows that they get in their own chocolate cup except at Christmas. And then it just they're just pile, just like the on a work of God. Just they're focused on getting every single marshmallow into this cup. They almost forget you're there.
The toddler determination.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
when you think they've completely forgotten about you, they say, "You ever had a dream that was really, really real?"
All the time.
And they don't even break stride. That stops them. The little raft of marshmallows starts to float away from the wall as they think. They go back to poking them in and pushing it back over. Like, really real? Like, and he looks down at the back of their hand, and there's a big scratch.
And that scratch wasn't there yesterday.
You weren't here yesterday, but it looks like the ones that you got. There's just something. It's like the teddy bear in the previous scene.
Mhm.
There's something about it that tells you that that's not. He didn't scratch himself sleeping. He had a really real dream.
I get those dreams a lot. Some of them are different. Some of them are the same. You want to talk about it?
Did you win in yours?
Well, I want to say yes, but it's really hard to tell.
I think I lost. What do I do tonight?
You take what you've learned from your loss, and, well, you learn from it. And Red is gonna lean their tattooed arm forward as they look at him, really close. Losing is okay. If we won all the time, then what is there? You gotta learn from your losses. You gotta learn from your victories. It's not always gonna be perfect.
And they look up at you now, and they really look like the sort of grandparent or whatever shield that their filter that they're looking through you just falls away, and they see you as an actual person. And so for the first time, they see the scars. They see the marks on you. And they might as well glow. You lost too. But you're still
Many
here.
times.
How do I do that?
You don't let it eat you up.
Last marshmallow goes into this raft. And they have to start poking the whole thing down into the chocolate because it fits so tight. So I just keep going?
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay if I lose again?
There's nothing wrong with losing.
But it's okay if I win too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And you see them kind of loosen up a little bit. And they try to have a drink of their hot chocolate, and they realize they've been hoist on their own petard. It won't come out. There's a plug of marshmallow in the top, and it's all melted together now.
Red is gonna flick their hand forward, and there wasn't a spoon there before, but now there's a spoon between their fingers.
Yeah. So and they use the spoon to push it back from the edge to make a little space. So you just keep trying. And you have a little sip of the hot chocolate. And one or two little marshmallows wash in with it. they start poking the marshmallows and breaking them up. How
A
did
lot
you?
of
Yep. Go ahead.
a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, wouldn't be here today if they just rolled over when they lose. They got themselves back up, dusted off, took to heart what happened, and kept going.
I don't think you're the one that's weird. And they look at you like the rainbow robe and the fuzzy slippers and I'm assuming the hair because you just woke up and just.
They don't
And-
have hair.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, total bald. Yeah, but yeah, sorry. You know what I mean? They're just looking like just
Yeah.
woke up, right? With the hot chocolate in one hand and just like it's and they have that moment again where all the filters fall away. And they look at you and in a strangely wise voice you hear, "Thank you." And they just pop off the counter and drop that meter to the floor, like that 3 feet to the floor, and just land on their feet, boom, and walk away without ever spilling a drop. Or is not one marshmallow. Just boom. And they go, "Oh, wait." And they hand you the spoon. Like nothing happened.
He'll take the spoon back, like raising up, like, wow, that was impressive.
And just before you grab the spoon, they go, "Ha!" and bang you on the back of the knuckles with it. You see, I learned. And you see them walk out of the kitchen and into the other room for all the world like they're 2 inches taller than they were before the conversation. And then they walk back into the room. This was in my hot chocolate. And they hand you a D12. What color was it?
Pink.
I can't. I haven't got one. So yeah, the chocolate drips off of it onto your fingers. What number's facing you?
4.
Any particular reason? You don't have to say if it's very meaningful personally. You don't have to say.
Because 4 is the easiest number to recognize.
I like that. And then the party continues in the other room, and you're sort of back in that there but not there bubble. Jet, let's do it this way.
Yes.
You wake up extra early because the kids are helping you move today into a home. You've had to admit it. You can't keep this place clean. It's too big. There's too much. You may or may not want to, but it's happening. But again, you awake aged, cold on your bed, wrinkled, hard of sight, hard of hearing, sore of joints. And bang, bang, bang on the door. The kids, they never use the doorbell. It's right there. It's a nice, gentle doorbell.
What do you want?
We're here to help you pack, Dad.
I don't need to pack.
But you're leaving. And you hear their key in the door.
Staying put.
You hear them come into the other room. You're staying in your bedroom? You just yell it through the door? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. You hear them come into the living room, and you hear, "Oh God, he hasn't packed a damn thing." And then the sound of, you know who this is. This is, if it's okay, it's one of your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So them and their spouse and their 2 kids start hauling furniture out of the living room out to the truck.
I've been here for 22 years. I'm going to die in this home.
The door handle is jiggled. Is your bedroom door locked?
No.
Okay. And they open it up. And it's son or daughter? I'll ask you.
Son.
Son, okay. And leans his head in. Come on, Dad. We talked about this.
Yeah, well, you didn't listen.
You know how it is, Dad. We can't keep you here. It's costing too much.
Sounds like I don't have a choice in this. Didn't I raise you to respect your elders?
And they close the door behind them, blocking out everybody in the other room. And he comes over and thinks about sitting on the bed and then remembers your last sentence and stays standing because you haven't told him he could sit. He said, Dad, you know how she is.
Yeah, I know a lot of things. What's your point?
If you do this for me, I'll owe you. Every weekend. I know I said I'd do that before and I didn't. But I will this time. I'll bring the kids.
It's not that. I have memories here. And I won't there. I won't know anyone. I won't have my. I look over and there's a picture on the nightstand of from my wedding night. And I look and I don't finish that sentence.
And but you've got all your stuff. Doesn't that remind you like this? And they just randomly reach out and pick something up off a shelf. You got to admit it's a little cluttery in here.
It's not about the stuff. Throw the stuff away. You're going to anyway. It's not about the stuff. It's, oh, I hope you never understand, but I wish you would right now.
What is this anyway?
It's a bird. It's from a dream. No, I don't remember it. Don't worry about it.
Why does it smell like museum?
It was very important to me a long time ago, okay?
And they start like trying to work one of the wings loose.
You're gonna break it.
Does it mean something to you? You just said it was.
No, fine. No. Give it to your children. They'll like it. It used to fly.
Looks like it could. Dad, what the hell happened?
I got old. What do you mean?
No, I mean before that. Long time ago.
A lot of things happened. It's hard to point to any one of them. There was You ever fall in love? I know you're married, but you ever been in love?
He grins when you said, I know you're married. And he says, yeah. Yeah.
That moment when it's fresh, when you do anything. I helped someone chase that moment once. I don't know if it ever worked out. He was chasing someone. He wanted her. He was willing to throw his life away over and over again because he wanted a chance. And I helped him. And that was one of the purest things that I've ever done. Helping someone chase that feeling. And I don't think it worked for him. I don't think they were meant to be together. But every day when you're not helping someone chase that, it's like the day after Disneyland, you know? Am I making any sense?
I read an article about ecstasy once.
An article, yeah?
Let's just leave it at that. It was a short article, okay, Dad? It was a pop-up, all right? But
Yeah.
but it said what you just said, basically. It said that after extended use, it's almost like there's too much happy. And it sets the bar too high.
Yeah. Sets the bar too high.
You got that from helping someone?
I wanted to be a doctor. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
I wanted to help someone. But it turns out that's not enough. And I start climbing out of bed, and instinctively I make the bed after I get out.
Yep.
And then slowly bend down and start picking up some of the clutter and putting it in a trash bag. And I say, it's not enough to just want to help. It turns out there's a lot of reading you have to do, a lot of books, a lot of long hours. And yeah, I wanted to help them, but I was chasing that high. And it wasn't enough to get there. But it meant I didn't have anything else to drive me forward. I know I wasn't always the best father you could have had. But I tried, and I'm sorry if I failed you.
Almost without thinking, they put the plane down on the table in a space that you kind of just cleared of clutter. And they just step forward and give you a big hug. No, you don't get it. You didn't let me down, Dad. You showed me how to keep going. It's because of you that he looks out in the other room through the closed door, that those kids are gonna have me until they don't need me anymore.
Got to keep moving forward, huh? I pick up the portrait, or the picture from the wedding night, and I set that on one side of the table. And I say, here, I've got something for you. For the kids. Let them fight over it, or give it to your favorite. And I go over to an old drawer, and I pull out a yo-yo. And it, of course, is engraved with my name. It says Jethro.
Yeah.
And I say, whatever you do, don't make them stop playing with this, okay? Let it be their choice. I hand the yo-yo.
I'm going to be honest. Don't think this is going to compete with the PS5, but I will absolutely try.
Yeah. Thanks.
He says, actually, mind if I keep it?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. That'd be great.
He
But
starts
you better
to,
come by and show me what you learn every week, okay? I want you walking the dog by next week.
I don't know what that means, Jethro, but I will know by next week. And he turns to leave because he's getting overwhelmed. But he very carefully, you see, it's gone, it's hidden, it has disappeared. The missus is not seeing this thing. No, even his kids are not seeing this thing. This is something special, right? And as he walks out of the room, he looks back. He says, "Oh shit, Dad, I think I broke your plane." You look
Plane.
over the little bird.
Yeah. Yeah, I go and I
A
pick
tiny, the little door in the bottom has opened up. The D12 falls out. What does it look like?
it up. It's purple with the numbers sort of faded.
Yeah. Okay. And what number does it land on?
12.
A reason?
Because that's what I just rolled here.
Ah, okay. You managed to get a die
Stole my
roll in. A
gimmick.
real
I was
die
gonna do
roll.
the
You
same
managed to get
thing.
one in. Whew. I got to break the story for a second. That was amazing. Holy cow. That what a scene. Thank you.
Hurrah.
And your son heads out of the room, leaving you with your purple die and your secret bird, your secret Egyptian bird. Which brings us to Mr. Box. Because I don't remember your real name. So, Mr. Box, you, before you tell me, you wake up. Wake up, wake up. Human, ancient, not a splinter, not a shape changer. Sore, old, no memory of the last decades.
He gets out of bed and like almost immediately goes to the bathroom to check his face.
You
And
walk
I'm
in,
just like
gray, wrinkled, saggy, baggy eyes. Downstairs, you hear tink, 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 tink. You live alone. You know that somehow.
he's I actually kind of alluded to that earlier, but
Yeah.
yeah, he does live alone. He shuffles, grabs the baseball bat that's beside the toilet.
Yep.
You never know. And sort of cautiously creeps out of the bedroom, sort of looks down the stairs.
There's a shape in the middle of the living room, just sitting on the floor, all crunched up. Like they've got their legs crossed, but then they're folded over like this with something in their lap. And they're weeping. You can see them just, just shuddering.
Are you okay in there?
Holy shit!
No.
They turn around and the eyes are just, they're this big and the pupils are every bit as big to match. They are wasted.
What are you doing in my house, eh?
I'm stealing your shit.
Not today.
No, wait. And they hold up what they had in their hands to block you. What is it?
It's the clay cat. And he stops and he's like, "Where did you find that?"
It was in that box.
Slowly turns.
There's two cardboard
Look at the
boxes in
box.
the corner, one sitting on top of another. There's no felt pen marks. There's no lines. It's not alive. It's just two boxes, one sitting on top of another.
He recognizes the way they're situated. And he kind of drops the bat. It's like, I thought that. Did you put those there? He
What?
says, looking at me.
No. I came to steal. Why does this make me cry? And he's holding it up like almost accusingly at you. And it's limp, like it's not alive. It's a clay
Yeah.
cat.
This happened a long time ago. At least I think it was a long time ago. And he goes over to the box and he opens the top one.
What do you see?
All the rest of the stuff, the ear, which is made of plastic, and
Yep.
it's
The
sort of
8-bit plastic ear.
Yep.
Yeah. Sounds like something EA Sports / GameStop would sell. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Actually,
Yeah.
I've got a couple that are similar. Not ears, but like
Yeah.
Nintendo characters. It's the toy soldier. His bag of marbles, and the ankle tag from the old folks' home, just as like his admission.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Your admissions that, yeah, gotcha.
These are all memories. My memories.
And he looks down at and he looks at I mean, you described them: an 8-bit plastic ear, a toy soldier, marbles with a hint of they used to be made out of clay, an ankle tag, these two boxes, and everything else. The cat in his hand. You must have done a lot of drugs, right?
I used to drink a lot, but no, like
What the fuck were you
when I was a
drinking?
kid, he takes out the marbles. When I was a kid, these were how I played with my friends. Puts it down. Takes out the ear.
What the
always had
hell
somebody
is that? It's like half a heart. I don't understand. What is
And he's
that?
like, no, he puts it up. He's like, no, it's like an ear, eh? And he flicks a switch on the bottom, it lights up. And he puts it down. It's like this. It was this really interesting fad. I thought it looked cool, anyways. But my friends and I, we'd all just hang out and we'd play with these little toy soldiers. And I had a friend who was always someone I could listen to, and that's how he gave me the ear. It's kind of a joke. And who are you anyway? Like, out of all the places on the street, like, why do you come to mine? There's like nothing here. There's always been kind of an empty box. He looks around and there's nothing. He's got a table, chairs, the TV is an old beat up thing with a Nintendo sitting underneath it. Just he doesn't have really much of anything. A lot of bare walls.
I looked in 100 houses tonight. This one was the only one that didn't look like anybody lived in it. And I don't want to steal from anyone. But I need money.
Well, hold on a sec. He takes the cat And he's like, don't tell nobody. Twists the head, pulls it off. It's a bunch of $2 bills. I was supposed to put these back when they turned them into toonies. Pretty sure they're going to be worth a lot on the internet, even just a pawn shop. Might put you away for a bit.
How did you stop?
Stop
as,
what?
as he's reaching for the money, because you can see their eyes are starting to glaze, like the addiction's starting to come on strong, like they're already
Mhm.
planning where this is going to get spent, and then realize that that's not a good plan, but they're having trouble stopping.
How'd I stop? I realized it didn't change anything. Still worked at the plant. Still lived alone. It just wasn't helping, you know?
So
So I stopped.
what's it like not owing your whole existence to and they kind of pull out a piece of foil out of their pocket that's empty now, to you know you can see them starting to roll it between their fingers, like they're already getting antsy, they're already coming down.
He takes it, puts it in his own pocket, just to give him something else to think about. It's hollow for a while. For a long while.
What do you fill it with?
Sorry, what did you say?
What do you fill it with?
Moments. Like, a sunrise. Or a nice song you heard while you're walking down the street.
Or sitting in somebody's living room not getting shot while you're trying to steal their shit?
Take what you can get, eh? Gotta start somewhere.
Speaking of taking what I can get and starting somewhere, can I still have those, what did you call them? Toonies?
Yeah, no problem. Just like take it to a bank first, cause if you're cause not many people take these bills anymore, eh?
And they very carefully take them and unroll them. I'm assuming they were kind of rolled up in a
Yeah.
tube and stuck in. They unroll them and start counting. Even if they only take them at face value at the bank, can I buy you breakfast?
Let me go get a shirt on, because he's sitting there with a tank top.
Yeah. So you go upstairs to get a shirt on.
Mhm.
You come back down there. They're just walking around the room, just looking at all of your stuff. You must have had a hell of a life.
There was a time when it was interesting, but I don't know about hell of a life. I mean, look at this place. And it's just, again, he's pointing to bare walls and basic furniture. It's like, I don't have a whole lot. And I've spent most of it here.
What do you mean you don't have a lot? Look. And he just points at a wall. And it's like a projection screen TV. And it's just moments, 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 moments. Some from before, some from after, that are brand new. It's been almost 40 years. And bits and pieces and a whole weekend and then a day and an hour and a minute and a second here and there.
And he just gets lost in it.
And
Sorry, I need a sec.
No, that's okay. And he looks at you and says, "Thanks. Let's go get that breakfast."
Puts his hand on the wall, just next to just a moment. And it's a moment with 4 strangers. Yeah, I'll be right there.
As your hand comes off the wall, a die falls into it. What color?
Green. Well, let's see if that actually works this time. It's green with blue and gold swirls in it.
Green, blue, and gold. And what number is it on?
7.
Why?
Because he has been lucky. He just didn't know it.
And you head off for breakfast. As the 4 of you head about your days after these moments, each of you fails to see in the distance, either outside a window or down at the end of a street or inside a parked car, a certain chaos god rolling a 12-sided die between their palms. Thank you. That was interesting. And they fade away. I was going to ask if anybody had anything they wanted to say, but I think at least 2 of you would have trouble saying anything right now. So
I'm fine.
Let's very quietly drop
Okay.
the big velvet curtain on this whole adventure. I want to thank all of you players, not just for tonight. I mean, that was just 4 heart-wrenching scenes in a row. That was hardly fair. Thank you all for that. But thank you also for agreeing to be in this. I said it before the show. I'm going to call it experimental gaming. The no goals, no answers gaming. The only thing that happens in the game happens because of you. All I do is present situations and improv the results. Everything that happens is because of the players, and I love that. The minimalist rules, I love it. The old school combination of rolling for your character, but also being able to create your own. That's something I want to play with a lot more. The short seasons, I said at the start, these endings are tough. They are. You just saw that, but they're also amazing. So thank you for all of that. Thank you specifically, Sarah. Willow was stunning. Tonight was, well, I'm hoping tonight was cathartic. I'm hoping we gave you a chance tonight to just sort of dump a bunch of stuff and just let it all go. And just be Willow and be sort of happy and complete. Yeah? Okay. I'm not going to make you talk. Thank you. Love you to bits. Thank you for playing with me. It will never get old. Every time. You're wonderful. Thank you. I'll leave you alone now. Hellhounds. I can't tell. Can we talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. You brought this charming character again, and then it was time to get serious. You got serious. And when it was time to be funny, you got funny. You are a star, and you can come play with us anytime you want. You're a joy to play with. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for going along with this. This was fairly dark, and I know sometimes dark is not sort of up your alley, but I appreciate the hell out of you doing that with me this time. Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. I love it.
Oh, thank you. That one, oh, yeah, my face hurts. Scott, oh, thank you. Thank you for popping in. It has been one hell of a 7 episodes. But we got 2 people to talk to yet. I'm going to give them one more chance to breathe. So we're going to go to Alex next. You've had a hell of a couple of months, man. I'm sure you used to, I know this is like your 3rd time releasing a game, so you're like old. This is old hat for you, I'm sure. But on the other side of it, that's got to be an exciting couple of months. And to have been able to be just a tiny sort of 2 hours of the week where you got to get away from that and just come and be this under duress character that we created for you. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you. It's been an absolute blast and a nice change of pace.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Change of pace is what I was looking for. I wanted this to be weird. And yeah, when some stranger on the internet says, come be weird with me, and you say yes, that's brave. That's brave beyond compare. So thank you for saying yes. I appreciate that. This is probably where I'm going to crack. For the final time, Mr. Box, as your name is now currently in Zoom.
Yeah.
I wanted tonight to be real and like hurt. And I did not think we were going to be able to outdo Jet's story. While we were doing that story, I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is a father-son intimate moment thing. You didn't ask permission to do this. What the fuck are you doing? But it worked. And when it finished, it was like, that was so real, that hurt. And I had a brief moment where I thought, how the hell do we beat that? But thank you, because I didn't. You did. You carried that scene. That was absolutely stunning. I handed you this sort of baby in the bathwater, and you just took it and walked with it and took it to an amazing place. A place that clearly meant something on a lot of levels. So thank you for being that open, that honest, that engaged, all those words. But most of all, thank you for being you.
This is not what I was expecting when we started this episode.
No. Oh, really? This is what this one was all about. This was about how it changed you and how it made you. Well, I saw that Hellhounds, just very briefly. I saw that. Yeah,
wow, it's been up the whole time.
Yeah, this is what I just saw, not the other thing that I saw for a split second, and I'm not even entirely sure what it was. Never mind. Thank you, Bison _Stonefist. That was special. All of you tonight, that was really special. Chat. A cup of tea, maybe. I'm probably gonna need one. This campaign covered all the. I mean, there was funny nights, there was serious nights, there was tonight. So thank you for coming with us. It was all weird. It was all fun. I know I got chat when you stopped being the peanut gallery. Like you guys actually, I noticed about partway
When
through. It's like,
and Kyle shut up.
they didn't shut up. They just started, the sentences start getting short and like things like "Red is wonderful." Sarah might actually have a meltdown. This is amazing cast. Oh man, my crazy does not help. Cute art. I love this so much. I want this to be weird. LOL. You know, it's just the engagement, right? Don't get me wrong, I love the peanut gallery, but I also love, I say break the game, and I also love breaking chat sometimes too. So thank everybody for breaking my game. Thank you to YouTube in the future for watching this. Please hit that like button. And if you really liked it, it's only 7 episodes and all of them are less than 2 hours. Some of them are only just over an hour. Recommend it to your friends. That's a like a 1-day binge watch. And if they like it, then send them off to Dirty 20 Gaming. That's all I ask. More coming in the future. We've got all kinds of games coming up, but I am right now just a tiny bit too exhausted to talk about any of them. So with that, for the final time from the dark side of the Dodecahedron, I rolled a 7 as well because there were 7 ages. There were 7 episodes. There it is. There's the one I was looking for. The 7 ages of man, according to William Shakespeare. We covered them all, with a little help from Loki.
Have a good night, everybody.